All right. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about my mom now, and those videos that you saw. The interesting thing is, I found all those photos while I was going through my mom's things after she died, and I had never seen any of those photos before. So I thought we didn't have any family photos because my mom kept them away in a box. And if you notice, for the first two videos, it shows me and my three sisters, but everything stopped around the age of 8 or 9 or so. There's a reason for that. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 11. My mom was 44 at the time, and she lived to be 88. So half of her life she was married, and then the other half she was divorced. And after the divorce, things got pretty bad for us. I mean, we did not have money. We kept moving to smaller and smaller places to live. It was definitely a struggle just to survive. And now being a parent myself, with 3 kids, I can't believe the stress and the pressure it must have been for my mom to try to keep the 4 of us going. I don't even know what that could be like, but and unfortunately, my mom and I did not have the best relationship, especially after the divorce. My mom was pretty heartbroken about it, very upset that her life did not go according to plan, and that's why I asked Jimmy to share his message, because life doesn't necessarily go according to plan. Life goes the way it's going to go, and you still have to keep living and figure out how to get by. And looking back, what I think is very important for me was that the tough life we had after the divorce, it made me learn to be a survivor, to be resilient, to understand that nothing is given to you, and you have this time, and you should make the most of what you have. And we have 3 generations of family here on the phone, so especially the younger folks, I want everyone to know life isn't always going to go the way you want it to, but you still have to figure out, can I keep going on? How can I keep going on? And so I want to share a few memories about my mom that I've had and really haven't really spoken to anybody about it. So I'll just tell a couple of stories here. I wrote this in my mom's obituary. When she came to the United States, the immigration officer asked her, "What would you like to be your American name?" And she said, Shirley, except she has a Chinese accent, so it came out Shalley. She meant Shirley like in Shirley Temple, but the immigration officer heard Shalley, and so her first name is spelled Shalley, which is a little bit unusual, but that's because the immigration officer heard Shalley and not Shirley. Also, when my mom was studying for her PhD, she went to Rutgers for her master's in psychology, and she was very excited when Emily, my daughter, also went to Rutgers. But when she was doing her PhD, she had to write a lot of papers, and she was not good at typing, so she said, "You need to learn how to type." And I said, "Okay, I'll type. I think that seems easy enough." But before I typed, she covered up all the letters on the keyboard, so I couldn't see what anything is. And I said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I can't see what I'm typing." She said, "Because I need you to type fast, and I want you to learn where all the keys are." And at that time, you had to use these little whiteout strips if you made a mistake. She said, "Don't make too many mistakes. These are expensive." So I learned to type at the age of 7 with no keyboard. That was something my mom had me help her with. another thing I remember is when she was, as part of her PhD program, she had to give kids IQ tests. And it was always difficult to try to find kids or someone willing to do that. So instead, she just kept using me as if I was somebody different and kept giving me tests over and over again. And I remember she told me her professor said, "Where are you finding all these genius kids? These kids are like unbelievably smart." But you know, I got so good at these IQ tests that I don't even know what my IQ is, because it's probably not a valid test for me anymore. One other story that I particularly remember, when I was growing up, I played Little League. I was a third baseman, and I learned to play by myself. My sisters really didn't play sports, so I would throw the ball up in the air and hit it on the backyard one way, and then I would hit it the other way so as not to hit the house. So the good news is I learned to be a switch hitter, just practicing hitting on both sides. And I remember my team made the playoffs, and this was when I was 11 years old. My mom and dad had just got divorced, and we were getting the house ready for sale. And my mom was mowing the backyard. We had a riding mower. She was mowing the yard, and I said, well, she's in mowing the yard. How am I going to practice baseball? So I said, I'll just hit it softly, you know, because I've got a playoff game coming up, and I'll hit it towards the garage doors, and it'll just bounce off the garage doors and be fine. But I hit one of the balls a little too hard, and it shattered my mom's master bedroom window. And I said, oh my gosh, my mom is going to be so furious because, you know, she's mowing the lawn, we're trying to get the house ready for sale, and then here I just went and broke a window, and there's people coming, you know, in a few days to come look at the house. And I was really, really afraid to tell my mom. Of course, you know, she got off her mower and saw what happened, and I was prepared for the worst. But I remember that she didn't scream, she didn't yell. That was the one time that she gave me a hug and said, "It's all right. You know, we can fix the window. It's not. Don't worry about it." Which I was shocked because my mom tended to do a lot of yelling, and so I was prepared for her to be very angry. But that's the one memory I remember where she did not get angry at me. And one other story. Again, my relationship with my mom was not so good because I reminded her of my father, she said. And so the night before I went to college, I was going to Penn in Philadelphia. We had a blowout fight. You know, I was said, finally, I'm going to be on my own. I don't have to hear all your yelling, screaming. And she basically threw me out of the house. She said, get out right now, and I don't want to see you again. And I walked to the train station with my bags and stayed there overnight and waited for the train to come in the morning. Excuse me. And really, that was the last time I was ever at home. I never went home again. I was on my own. I knew I didn't have any backup plan. But again, that was really what told me you have to survive in this world. Unfortunately, things didn't go so well for my mom and my sisters. They did suffer quite a bit. But we did reconcile. And my mom was a part of my family, my kids' lives. And so I'm happy about that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, thank you very much, Mom, for struggling to raise us. We really appreciate it. I'm going to ask my wife to talk now and say a few words. Thanks.